Now more than ever, keeping up with the world means keeping up with computer technology and software. The PC Video Collection is proud to present this video tutorial.
Hello and welcome to this video tutorial, Learning Word 97 Secrets and Timesavers. I'm Colin Lucina along with Julie Clemens.
Word 97 is a word processing application included with Microsoft's Office 97. Like the rest of Office 97, it runs in the Windows 95 environment.
If you're familiar with using a word processor, you know how valuable one can be. Word is the top-of-the-line word processor. After using it, you're practically guaranteed to love it.
Word makes typing attractive, intelligent documents easy. So now that you know the basics of using it, we're going to show you how to really make it sing.
In this tutorial, we'll demonstrate how to use tons of shortcut key combinations, beginning with the function keys, then using shortcuts to apply formatting, to edit and move text, manipulate outlines, work with fields, and merge documents.
In addition to shortcuts, we'll share some secrets for making Word work for you even faster. Some of these include how to take advantage of autocorrect, while others will show how to add bullets, select items, move text, and make mail merges more personable.
In addition, most of the sample files we'll be using contain helpful information, so be sure to read them.
We've made a typical installation of Office 97, including Word 97. Since Word 97 runs in the Windows 95 environment, we assume you are familiar with the fundamentals of Windows 95. However, if you feel you need to review, please refer to our Learning Windows 95 tutorials.
We've provided a learning disk with sample files that will be referred to throughout this video tutorial and can only be used within the application. When we've finished with this tutorial, simply delete the VIA Graphics Learn folder from the hard drive.
If you would like to try the following exercises with us, please install the Learning Disk files now using the following commands. Place the Learning Disk in the proper drive. Ours is A. Click the Start button and select Run from the menu. a:\\vialearn.exe will need to be entered in the command line, and choose OK. Then choose the Install button and click OK to accept the default directory. A window appears showing the installation progress, and we choose OK at the successfully copied prompt. For our first exercise, we'll manipulate text from a Word file in the VIA Graphics folder with some secrets of the trade. We click the Start button, go to Programs, then Word, and click. The Word window appears. Once the window is ready, we'll open a file. We click the Open tool, second on the toolbar, and the Open dialog box appears. Since we want to open a document from the Learning folder, we click the drop-down list for Look In, then click the C drive to select it. The contents of C appear in the box below. We find the VIA Graphics folder, then double-click it. Next we find the Chapter 1 file, and double-click it. This opens the Chapter 1 file inside of the Word window. This document is a portion of a Windows 95 script we created, so you might want to read it if you've never created a shortcut icon on the desktop. For our first exercise, we'll refresh ourselves about how to select items. After all, manipulating text has everything to do with knowing how to select it. We find the word Remember at the beginning of the He's line. One way to select this is to drag our pointer over it. Once the word is selected, we deselect it by clicking the mouse again. Another way to select it is using the mouse. We place the pointer over Remember and double-click. Now we triple click and the entire paragraph is selected. Another click deselects everything. With the basics mastered, let's use some more advanced key combinations to select items. Throughout this tutorial, we'll be using key combinations. This means we'll be pressing multiple keys simultaneously.
The shortcut keys we'll be learning are DOS-like, but they're usually much quicker than selecting a command from a menu.
While we're learning these keystrokes, don't feel like you have to remember all of them. Focus on learning the shortcuts found by menu commands and any other shortcut for commands you commonly use.
Remember, Einstein himself could only memorize formulas he used daily. The rest he referred to as he needed them.
Many key combinations are available for selecting text. With the insertion point over remember, we press Shift plus the end key. The sentence is selected from the insertion point to the end of the line. We click and the text is deselected. Now we press Shift and Home and the sentence is selected to the beginning of the sentence from the insertion point. We click to deselect this text. Then scroll down to the center of the page where we see the Cut to Computer box. Click at the front of the paragraph. To select from this point to the end of the paragraph, we press Ctrl plus Shift and the down arrow key. Everything is selected to the end of the paragraph. We click, then use the key combination of Ctrl plus Shift plus the up arrow key. Now the paragraph is selected from the insertion point to the beginning. Now click to deselect text. For our final selecting exercise, we'll see how to select columns. We hold down the Alt and Control keys, then drag the mouse. Notice how the selection is contained to where we drag the mouse. It descends when we drag down and expands as we drag out to the right. The selected area will be affected like any other selection. We release Ctrl plus Alt keys and the mouse. Let's click the Font Color tool, located on the right side of the text toolbar. We choose red and the selection turns red. This method of selections is a great way to select cells, information, or columns. Now we hold down the Shift and Alt keys and drag. We click to deselect the area. Press Shift plus the page down key to select one screen down. Press Shift with the page up key to select a screen up. To select to the beginning of a document, press Ctrl plus Shift plus the Home key. To select the entire document, Ctrl plus A is the shortcut for the Select All command in the Edit menu.
Moving the insertion point is another basic but vital lesson when mastering Word. There are several shortcut keys to use. We'll demonstrate the most important ones.
To move one word to the left, we press the Control key plus the left arrow key. To move a word to the right, we press Control with the right arrow key. To place the insertion point to the beginning of the paragraph, press Control with the up arrow. The insertion point moves to the beginning of the next paragraph when we press Control with the down arrow. A couple of the most basic and most fundamental keys for moving the insertion point are Home and End. To place the insertion point at the end, we press the End key. We press the Home key and the insertion point appears at the beginning of the line. These keys can also be used to move to the beginning and the end of a document when coupled with the Control key. We press Control plus End and move to the end of the document. Use Control plus Page Down to move to the top of the next page, or Control plus Page Up to move to the top of the previous page.
Our first exercise will be to move a selected area of text to another part of the document.
We want to move the word remember behind the word those, which is presently following remember. We press Control plus Home to go to the top of the document. Select the word. Then drag the mouse using the right mouse button. Now we double-click the word remember to select it. Then we drag the right mouse button behind the word those. Notice a faint vertical bar appears with a box below the pointer. We release the mouse and a menu pops up. The commands include move here, copy here, link here, and create hyperlink here, with a cancel command at the very bottom. If we wanted a copy of the word remember in its original place, as well as in the spot we've placed the pointer, then we'd select the Copy Here command. To move the word remember so it no longer appears in its present location, we select Move Here. We want to move the word, so we click Move Here. Remember is moved from the beginning of the sentence to after the word those.
We just moved a word by selecting it, then dragging the mouse with the right mouse button. This caused a pop-up menu to appear.
We can also do this using the left mouse button. The only difference is that the left button will automatically move the word. The pop-up menu won't appear. Remember is still selected, but for this move to work, we need to deselect it by clicking outside of the word, then reselect it by double-clicking Remember. Now we drag the mouse using the left mouse button. Select the word, then drag the mouse using the left mouse button. The same line appears indicating where the text will move. We place this line in front of the word those, then release the mouse. The word remember is automatically moved here. The pop-up box we saw before does not appear. Until now, we've been moving single words, but we can move any size selection using this method. It's basically a substitute for using the cut and paste commands. We place the pointer over the first talent shot, dragging to the last sentence. Now we drag the mouse to the end of the document. We release the mouse and the selected area of text appears. A line appears everywhere we move the pointer. To undo this change, we use the quick key combination of Ctrl+Z for undo. The text is moved back to the beginning of the document.
Another way to move text is by using the Shift key. We'll move the same block of talent from the beginning of the document to the end of it, just like we did before. Only this time, we'll use the Shift key.
We click at the end of the block of talent. Then hold down the Shift key, then click at the beginning of the talent. This selects everything between the insertion point and where we clicked. We continue to hold down the Shift key and drag the left mouse button to the bottom of the document and release the mouse, then the Shift key. The segment is moved here. Now click to deselect.
You may pause the tape now to practice on your computer.
Let's review what we've covered in this chapter. We reviewed how to select items, then use some shortcut key combinations to select particular areas.
We use shortcut keys to move the insertion point around by using combinations including the Control key, then with the Home and End keys individually.
Finally, we use the right and left mouse buttons to move selections, as well as shortcuts using the Shift key.
Anyone who's taken notes before knows how helpful an abbreviation can be.
In the next exercise, we're going to use Autocorrect so we can write abbreviations in our documents, and Word will fix them for us.
This makes typing lots faster.
We open the Tools menu, then select Autocorrect. We make sure the Autocorrect tab is selected in the dialog box that appears. Now with the cursor in the Replace box, we type an abbreviation for the word we frequently use. Let's type Info. Then we tab to the With box and type the complete word Information. To add this to the list of items, we click the Add box. Now at any time we write info in a document, the entire word information will appear once we enter a space after the word. Let's add another. We click inside the replace box and type PMT. Then we tab to the with box and type payment. Then we click the add button. Now anytime the abbreviation PMT is typed, the entire word payment will appear. There are lots of abbreviations that can make typing faster. Here are some other abbreviations you may want to add to Autocorrect. Try abbreviations for advantage, disadvantage, document, longer abbreviations such as GDP for gross domestic product, and full names for countries.
Of course, autocorrect is also good for correcting words we tend to misspell over and over again. We admit doing this is enforcing a bad habit, but will save time.
While we're using autocorrect, let's add a fix for a word we tend to misspell. We'll say we misspell extension quite a bit. We click the replace box, then type the way we tend to misspell the word, EXTENTION. Then we tab to the with box and type its correct spelling, extension. We click the add button, and now anytime we misspell this word using a T instead of an S, Word will automatically correct it for us. Other words to consider adding to the autocorrect list are proper nouns, like internet and various countries. We click OK to close the autocorrect dialog box. While back inside the document, let's use a word we've added. We place the insertion point anywhere and type PMT. Then add a space. The entire word payment appears. Now suppose we don't want to use the entire word. We just want the abbreviation. To do this, we go to the word payment. Click at the end of it and backspace over everything but the P. Now we type MT, but do not press the space bar. Since a space has been inserted after the word payment, the last time we press the space bar, we press the arrow keys, the end key, or any key to get the end of the line without adding a new space after the word payment. This is the only way to overcome the autocorrect. At this time, we reopen the Tools menu and choose Autocorrect. We're going to remove the words we added in there, so you don't have them on your computer when you're finished with this tutorial. If you want to keep them, then skip this exercise. With the cursor in the replace box, we type PMT. Then click the payment line in the box below to select it. We click the delete button and it's gone. Now we type extension with a T in the replace box. Highlight its line in the box below and click the delete button. Finally, we type info in the replace box. Highlight its row, then click delete. All three changes are removed. Then click OK.
Now let's discuss how to use the function keys for fast action getting around word 97.
These keys can be combined with others such as Alt, Shift, and Control to perform functions.
We'll print a copy of all the function key combinations and what they do, then demonstrate some of the most valuable ones.
We open the Help menu. Then select Contents and Index. This takes us to the basic help window. With the Index tab selected, we type keys in the text box. Keys is selected in the list of help topics below, and 4 different categories appear below it. We double-click on Shortcut Keys, then Function. A help table appears in which all the function key commands are listed. To print this table, we click the Options button. Then click Print Topic. The print dialog box appears. We click OK, and the page is printed if our printer is set up and turned on. This page is a good reference guide we can keep close to our computer as we learn how to work faster in Word 97. Double-click the Control button to close this window. spend a minute looking over the function key table. We'll be demonstrating several of these and commenting on others. We're still looking at the Chapter 1 file. Let's press Shift and the F1 key. This causes our pointer to turn into a help pointer. We can click anywhere and context-sensitive help or reveal formatting will appear. We click on text and the paragraph and font formatting is revealed. We press the Escape key and it disappears. Now we press Ctrl plus Alt plus F1. Momentarily a dialog box appears displaying Microsoft system information. We close the box by double-clicking its control button in the upper left corner.
We already used some fast methods for moving text. F2 can make them even easier.
Now we'll use the F2 key. We double-click text to select it, then press F2. It doesn't look like anything happened, but when we look at the status bar, we see Move to Where, to indicate we can move the selection. To move the selection, we position the pointer where we want the text, then press the Enter key. We'll move it to the end of the sentence. Now we'll copy the same text by using Shift with the F2 key. Reselect Fast, then press Shift and F2 at the same time. Copy to Where appears on the status bar. We copy the text by placing the insertion point where we want the copy, then pressing the Enter key. We'll copy the text where we originally took it from. Use Ctrl plus F2 to see a print preview. Alt plus Shift plus F2 or the combination Shift plus F12 can be used to save, although we like Ctrl plus S because it's a faster and easier combination to remember. The F12 key will bring up the Save As dialog box. Ctrl plus Alt plus F2 or Ctrl plus F12 can be used as the Open command, although we recommend using Ctrl plus O because it's easier to remember and faster. The Shift and F3 keys offer an excellent way to quickly change letter case. Let's look at the text box at the top of the window. To make this text all caps, we first select the text, then press Shift and the F3 key at the same time. The text is changed to all caps. As long as the text is still selected, we can press Shift and F3 again to change the text to all lowercase letters. With the text still selected, we press Shift plus F3 once more, and the text returns to sentence case. Keep this tip close by. It should come in handy. Deselect all text. To make selected text all caps, press the key combination Ctrl plus Shift plus A. To format letters as lowercase, press Ctrl plus Shift plus K.
Alt plus F4 is an indispensable key combination. We use it to close any windows, whether in Word or any other Windows-based applications.
Along with using Ctrl plus S to save our work, Alt plus F4 is one of the most important key combinations to remember.
It saves time, and we'll use it over and over again.
Holding down the Alt and F4 keys at the same time will close any window. This includes the Save As window, the Windows Explorer, or the Program window for any Windows programs. Let's try this. We press Ctrl plus O to open the Open dialog box. Now we press Alt plus F4 and the box closes. We press Alt plus F4 again and the prompt appears asking if we want to save our work. This shows how Alt plus F4 closes the program window. We select Cancel to continue working in Word. F4 is used to repeat the last action. Shift F4 will repeat a Find or Go To action. The F5 key works as the go-to key, instead of selecting the command from the Edit menu.
You may pause the tape now.
Let's review what we covered in this chapter. First, we used the autocorrect to fill the complete word for abbreviations we frequently use, frequently misspelled, or proper nouns.
Then we used function keys to perform actions quickly. We used F2 for moving, Shift and F2 for copying, Shift and F3 for changing case, and Alt with F4 for closing boxes.
Let's use some shortcut keys to format characters and paragraphs.
First, we'll print a copy of all the keys available. We open the Help menu, select Contents and Index, then with the Index tab selected, we type keys. We double-click Shortcut keys and a list of shortcut keys appears. We've already printed out the function keys. Now we want to see the keys for formatting characters and paragraphs. We double-click this option, then click the Options button, and select Print Topics. We click OK in the Print dialog box, and a copy is printed as long as our printer is set up and turned on. Now we close Help.
You're probably looking at a 2-page printout for keys for formatting. In the next exercise, we'll demonstrate using some of the most commonly used keystrokes.
Remember, it isn't necessary to memorize and use all these keystrokes. But if you see one for a command you tend to use a lot, then it'd be a good idea to jot it down. Let's select the text box at the top of the window. Now we press Ctrl plus Shift plus F. The font box appears highlighted. To make the drop-down list appear, we press Ctrl plus F4. We see Times New Roman highlighted inside the box. Using the up and down arrow keys or by typing the first couple of letters, we can highlight different fonts. To select one, we make sure it's highlighted, then press Enter. We'll select Verdana. Now let's change the font size. With the text still selected, we press Ctrl plus Shift plus P. The size box is highlighted on the toolbar, and we can press Ctrl plus F4 to open the list. But we won't. Instead, we just press the down arrow and see the sizes change. To enter a number manually, we type it in. Let's type 24. Then press Enter. The size is enlarged to 24 points. With the text still selected, we press Ctrl plus D. This opens the font dialog box. It's just like selecting font from the Format menu. Here we can quickly make effects change, as well as the usual font formatting. We press Escape to close the box. Now let's do some real basic font changing. With the text selected, we press Ctrl plus B. This turns the selection bold when the text is not bold, and deselects bold when text is already bold. It works just like clicking the Bold tool on the toolbar, or selecting bold from the font box. Since our text was bold, it is now normal. We press Ctrl plus B again, and it becomes bold. To make it underlined, we press Ctrl plus U. This combination works just like bold, except it uses an underline. We press the combination again, and the underline disappears. The other font command on the toolbar is italic. Its key combination is Ctrl plus I. But instead of applying this to our current selection, we deselect the text by clicking outside of it. Then place the insertion point at the very end of the document by clicking there. We press Ctrl plus I and see the italic tool on the toolbar is selected. Now we type Add shortcuts for programs used every day. The text we type is italics. To turn off italic, we press Ctrl+I. Now we type, this makes opening them much faster. The text we write is no longer italic. This is probably the fastest way to change text appearance as we write. Now let's open a new document. We press Ctrl+F12. The VIA Graphics folder should still be selected inside the Look-In field. In the list of files, we find the Chapter 3 file and double-click it to open it. Notice the title has 2 words. We drag the mouse over the title to select it. Then click the Underline tool. The words are underlined as well as the empty space between them.
When we don't want empty spaces underlined, as our document shows, we have to do something like selecting the empty space box, then clicking the Underline tool for deselecting the underline. Any way we do it, it's a hassle.
The solution is to use a key combination that won't underline the blank spaces. This calls for Ctrl+Shift+W. With the title selected, click the Underline tool to remove the underline. With the title still selected, we press Ctrl+Shift+W. The selection is underlined with no underline between words. To remove it, we just press the combination again, but we won't since we want to keep the underline. Text can be double underlined by using Ctrl+Shift+D. Now, suppose we want other text to look exactly like our title formatting. First, we make sure our title is still selected. It is. Then we copy the formatting by pressing Ctrl+Shift+C. To paste this formatting, we first select the text we want the formatting to affect. And select the first sentence. Then press Ctrl, Shift, and the V key. The first sentence becomes the same size as the title and is bold with the words underlined. Remembering this key combination is easy if you know the copy and paste shortcuts. Just remember to add the Shift key. To single space, press Ctrl+1. To double space lines, use Ctrl+2. For a single spacing of 1.5, press Ctrl+5. To add or remove a line space preceding a paragraph, press Ctrl+0. Let's add some text to the bottom of the document. Press Ctrl+N to get there. Now we'll add some bulleted information. But instead of selecting bullets from the toolbar, we'll use keystrokes. We center align our insertion point by pressing Ctrl+E. We type what HTML can do. Then press Enter. On the next line, we add an asterisk by pressing Shift with the 8 key. Now we type Add Text to the page. We press Enter and the asterisk turns into a circle bullet. For the next bullet, we type Add Graphics to a page. We press Enter and another bullet appears. This is a fast way to enter bulleted information without selecting bullets. To end the list, we press Enter. New bullets stop appearing and the new bullet for a third item disappears. Try other symbols for bullets. The less than and greater than symbols make arrows, and numbers make numbered bullets. Now let's align the bulleted list to the right. We drag the mouse over the title and 2 bullets to select them. Then press Ctrl+R. The list is now aligned from the right side. To align it from the left, we press Ctrl+L. Now it's left aligned. Deselect all text. To justify text, use Ctrl+J.
You may pause the tape now.
Let's review what we covered in this chapter.
We learned shortcuts to open the font and size tools on the toolbars and open the font dialog box.
We used shortcuts to underline without underline empty spaces, then learned to paste with formatting and to align text.
Finally, we learned how to quickly add bullets without selecting any commands at all.
Ready for another list of shortcuts to use? This time we'll be using shortcuts for editing text.
Print this list of shortcuts by selecting Contents and Index from the Help menu. Then with the Index tab selected, type Keys. Double-click Shortcut keys, then Keys for editing and moving text and graphics. To print the list, choose Options. Then Print and click OK. And close the Help window. First, we'll open a new document. We press Ctrl+O, then with the VIA Graphics folder still selected, we double-click the Chapter 4 document. First, we'll work with deleting text. The first sentences obviously need deleted. After all, they say so themselves. Let's place the insertion point at the end of the second sentence by clicking there. Now we delete one word to the left by pressing Ctrl and the backspace key at the same time. The first time we do this, the exclamation mark is deleted. We press Ctrl and backspace again, and the entire word "it" is deleted. We do it again, and delete is deleted. To move in front of the word preceding the insertion point, we press Ctrl and the left arrow key. To delete the word to the right of our insertion point, we press Ctrl+Delete. The entire word "let's" is deleted. We'll delete the first paragraph by clicking 3 times to select it, then pressing the Delete key. Divide a document into sections when you want different parts to have different formats. To do this, open the Insert menu. Select Break. Then choose a type of section break from the ones offered. Continuous will add a section to the current page.
There are some very common editing combinations we've been using already. They're for cut, copy, and paste.
Our computers have an internal clipboard used to temporarily hold items. We never see this clipboard, but we know it's there. When we select an item, then press Ctrl+C for copy, a copy of the selection is placed on the clipboard.
When we press Ctrl+V for paste, the item is removed from the clipboard and pasted where the insertion point lies.
Pressing Ctrl with the X key will cut a selection from our document and place it on the clipboard. We can paste it somewhere else from there or just leave it.
When using the program window, we'll be prompted to save any items from the clipboard, if there are any there.
These shortcuts appear inside the Edit menu beside their commands. If you're unfamiliar with the cut, copy, and paste, they are excellent commands to start using.
We won't dedicate special time to using these. Instead, we'll continue to use them and other shortcuts listed in menus as they are needed.
Scrolling down a bit to look over our document, we see a green underline beneath the word Wherever. To quickly fix this, we place the pointer over the word. Then right-click the mouse. A small box appears with a suggested word. To substitute this compound for the word used in our document, we click it. Now, Wherever is one word. We click somewhere else away from the word and notice the word is red underlined to show a misspelling. This really isn't our fault, but we'll need to watch for things like this. We right-click the word and see a list of optional spellings. We choose the Wherever without an extra E in the middle. This fixes the problem. We go to the end of the document by pressing Ctrl with the End key. Now we move the insertion point to start a new indented paragraph. Then type, "The World Wide Web offers hyperlinks, sound, and graphics with services for news groups, chat rooms, email. Now we stop typing and add 2 dashes. We press the space bar, then type and much more. Notice how the 2 dashes are combined for a single double-wide dash. Now let's focus on the words news group, chat rooms, and email. All these words contain a hyphen. There are special shortcut keys we can use to insert hyphens. Control plus hyphen adds an optional hyphen. Control plus Shift plus hyphen adds a non-breaking hyphen. We place the insertion point before the hyphen separating news and group. We delete the hyphen, then press Control plus Shift plus the hyphen. This causes a non-breaking hyphen so the words will not separate between lines. Now we place the insertion point between chat and rooms. Delete the hyphen, then press Control and the hyphen. This inserts an optional hyphen so that when the words are not separated between different lines, the hyphen is invisible and the words become one. Let's place the insertion point in front of the word chat rooms and press the tab key so the word is forced to the end of the line. We press tab exactly 4 times and the word is forced to the end of the line. Notice how a hyphen appears.
There are also shortcut keys for manipulating outlines. Let's open an outline from the VIA Graphics folder so we can learn to use them.
We press Control plus O, then in the Open dialog box, we find the file Chapter 4B and double-click it. This document is a partial outline for the VIA Graphics tutorial Learning Act 3.0 Introduction. We suggest printing keys for working with the document outline. Go to Help, select Contents and Index, then with the Index tab selected, type Keys. Double-click Shortcut Keys, then Keys for working with the document outline. Click the Options button. Select Print. Click OK, then close the Help window. First of all, we'd like to remind you that anytime you make an outline using bullets or numbers, you can set the indentation you want, then add a number or symbol at the beginning of the line, and Word will automatically create a bulleted list when you press Enter. First, we'll learn to promote and demote paragraphs. These don't have to be grammatically correct paragraphs. They can be any bulleted item in the outline. We'll promote the first item, tabs. We select it, then press Alt plus Shift plus the left arrow. The word tabs is moved to the left and promoted to item 8 with Roman numerals. The key combination to demote a paragraph is Alt, Shift, and the right arrow. But as we're about to see, since our outline is based on bullets, we won't be happy with this change. We press the combination. Our text takes on a new character formatting. It doesn't shift to the right and become a number. We press Ctrl plus Z twice to undo our last 2 moves. The item returns to number 1. We press page down twice so we can see the next chapter's content. We want to move item 5, scheduling a to-do in the weekly calendar window, and its subcategory, assigning none up to replace number 4. We click after the subcategory assigning none, then hold down the Shift key and click it in front of item 5 to select the entire item. Now we press the combination Alt, Shift, and the up arrow key. This moves item 5's contents to item 4. The contents for item 4 are now item 5. With the item still selected, we press Alt, Shift, and the down arrow key to move it down. The item returns to 5.
You may pause the tape now.
review what we've covered in this chapter. We use shortcuts to delete text, then discussed cut, copy, and paste.
We also use shortcuts for adding optional and non-breaking hyphens. And finally, we use some shortcuts with an outline.
Let's begin with some shortcut combos for working with fields. We press Ctrl+O and the open dialog box appears. With the VIA Graphics folder still being shown, we double-click the Chapter 5 file. The first thing we notice is that the date in the upper right is current. Anytime a field needs to be updated, we select the field, then press F9. To go to the next field, we press F11. Because the shortcuts are listed with the field numbers, we're taken to them. By continuing to press F11, we're taken all the way through these. When we get to the bottom of the document, pressing F11 doesn't take us anywhere. This is because there aren't any more fields. To go to the previous field, we press Shift+F11. Now let's use a shortcut for adding a numbered list field. To do this, we press the page down key until we see the list of shortcut keys without any numbers. We click in front of the first one and press Alt, Control, and the L key. This adds a number 11 field in front of the field. We move to the beginning of the next line, then press Alt plus Control and L again. Number 12 appears. We continue to do this so every line has a number. Press Alt plus Shift plus D to insert a date field. Press Alt plus Shift plus P to insert a page field. Press Alt plus Shift plus T to insert a time field. Press Ctrl plus F9 to insert an empty field. Now we're ready to work with mail merge using shortcuts. But for this exercise, we'll be starting from scratch. We open the Tools menu and select Mail Merge. The Mail Merge Helper dialog box appears. We want to create a document, so we click on Create, then Form Letters. A new dialog box appears. To create our main document first, we click the New Main Document button. This returns us to the Mail Merge Helper where we click the Get Data button. Then select Create Data Source. Here we can add the fields we want for our source database. We remove fields by selecting them, then clicking the Remove button. Let's remove Title, Job Title, Company, Address 1, Address 2, City, State, Postal Code, Country, Home Phone, and Work Phone. This leaves us with first name and last name. Now we'll add a field. We double-click inside the field name box, then type Gift. We click the Add Field Name button and it's added to the list of fields. To add another name, we'll type in the field name box and type Gift General. Keep in mind this title can't have any spaces in order to be accepted to our list. With it typed, we click the Add Field Name button. We're done here, so we click OK. Try to limit the number of fields to those being used in the document used in the mail merge. The Save As dialog box has appeared. Here we name the source of our fields. Let's type Merge SRC, then press Enter. We're alerted that the data source we've created has no data records. We already know this. We click the Edit Main Document button because we'd like to create our document first. Now we're looking at a blank document. To add a date, in the right corner, we press Ctrl plus R, then press Alt plus Shift and the D key. A date appears in the right corner. We press the Enter key twice to move the insertion point down. Then press Ctrl and the L key. This left aligns our text. We type Dear, then add a space. Now we'll insert the first name field. We press Alt, Shift, and the F key to do this. The list of fields appear. We double-click first name and the field is inserted. Now we press Enter twice to move the insertion point down and begin our letter. This letter will be a thank you letter for wedding gifts. We type thank you for the, then add a space and insert the gift field by pressing Alt, Shift, and the F key, then selecting gift. We won't add a period here because we plan on adding it in with our field data. Now we type, Brandon and I are so grateful for everyone's generosity. Now we type the, add a space, then add the gift general field by pressing Alt, Shift, and the F key, then selecting gift general. We add a space after the field, then type fits great into our home. Please come by and see how everything looks. We're on 212 Westwood Avenue, just on the corner of 21st Street and Westwood. We press Enter twice, then type Thank you. Press Enter 4 times, then type Mr. and Mrs. Brandon Blake. The letter is looking okay, but we're missing a source for our fields. So we press Alt Shift and the E key to edit this. The data form appears with our fields inside. We didn't use the last name field in our document, but in case we forgot who someone is, we're including it in the data form. With the cursor in the first name field, we type Danny and Tasha. We tab to the last name field and type ROHR. We tab to the gift field and type Gorgeous Waterford Flower Vase. I can't wait to fill it with my peonies in the spring. Use the fields to personalize a mail merge by adding extra sentences that fit with the rest of the letter. Just be careful everything is spelled correctly, as spell check doesn't check fields. Now we tab to the gift general field and type vase. We're finished with the first one. Now we click the Add New button to add the second person on our list to thank. With the cursor in the first name field, we type Grandpa and Grandma. In the last name field, we type Maine. For a gift, we type entire set of green swirl Noritake crystal glasses. We were absolutely overcome when we saw the wine, water, and tea glasses all together. We tab to the gift general field and type crystal glasses. We're going to limit our data to 2 letters, so we click OK. This returns us to the main document where we press Alt, Shift, and the K key to preview our merge. The checking and reporting error box appears. We choose Simulate Mail Merge and report errors in a new document. Then we press Enter. We're informed no errors were found, so we press Enter. Now we press Alt, Shift, and the N key to merge the document with its source. All the fields present their information. Always proofread mail merge documents before printing them, especially when we've added entire sentences for personality. To print this, we press Ctrl plus P then click OK.
Let's review what we covered in this chapter. We used some shortcuts for moving around fields, then started a mail merge from scratch.
In our mail merge, we use shortcuts to insert merged fields, edit the data document, preview, and merge the documents.
We used the fields merged with the document to add personality so everyone receiving this letter could feel that we spent some time saying something special to them. When we finished, we printed it out.
Let's delete the learning files from the hard drive. We press Alt plus F4 to close the current file. When prompted to save our work, we select No. We do this over and over until all the files are closed, as well as the Word program window. We return to the Windows 95 desktop. We right-click the Start button and open the Explorer. First, we'll click on the C:drive icon in the All Folders window. Then we'll highlight the VIA Graphics Learn folder in the right pane. Hold down the Shift key as we drag the folder to the recycle bin. We release the mouse and our files are deleted. Finally, we'll close the Explorer and we'll return to the Windows 95 desktop.
That concludes this video tutorial, Learning Word 97 Secrets and Timesavers.
We've covered a lot of information in this tutorial. If you feel the need to review, simply rewind the tape and review that section again until you're comfortable with the material. Our worldwide website address is http://www.viagraphics.com. Send your questions or comments on this tutorial via email to admin@viagraphics.com. For more information about VIA Graphics training products, email info@viagraphics.com. Subject Information. For sales questions or to place an order, email sales@viagraphics.com. We at VIA Graphics would like to thank you for choosing our company for your computer training needs.
Remember, if you plan to learn Word 97 or any other computer software, there's no better way than through video training with VIA Graphics.